Welcome back everyone to another video. I do have another top. Don't worry, it does get washed. It's just that the top I have has a lovely little sort of zip pocket in the top here, which suits the external microphone really well. Otherwise, if I've got it on my t-shirt, it keeps flopping under and muting the sound, as I found in my last video. Anyway, welcome. Another sort of cooking video, but some more food at least. Thought I'd show you this though, which I'm very pleased about, that I made last night after a lot of errors. And here we go. I'm going to turn my new camera onto product mode. Here we go. We're now in product showcase mode, and I can do things like there you go. But I made a box pouch. Finally. I had a load of errors on the way, but I've always wanted to be able to make something like this with my sort of semi-industrial eBay purchase sewing machine. I'll show you a couple of the just you wait, hang on, here I go, I'll go and get them. Yes, it was a fairly rocky road. This was my first attempt here. It didn't open out. I suppose it could be a case usable for something, and then I thought I just need to box out the corners a little bit, and ended up turning it inside out thinking I cracked it, and there it is. A good case if you want something sort of cross-shaped to store, but finally it worked. Anyway, digressing folks, let's get on to what we're going to do today. In the last video, I hope I showed you how easy it was to prepare and cure your own bacon, and it was really successful. I'll put a link up to it in one of the cards in the corner here. Today, again, is a sort of curing process, but I'm going to make some smoked salmon. It's really easy. The bacon, I hope I showed you, was pretty easy anyway, and this is even simpler. The only thing is it's quite expensive to get hold of the salmon, so I've been holding off. I usually do it every year, but for some reason the salmon's really hiked up in price recently, but yesterday I managed to find a local supermarket was doing whole sides of salmon for £10, which actually is really good value, considering where if you bought a whole side of smoked salmon it would be about £35, I think, these days. So with a few inexpensive cure ingredients and a little bit of smoking wood powder, that's all you need. So I'll show you what I've got to start with. So ideally I'd have liked to have these salmon sides whole to do the full process with, but the packets they'd made in the supermarket, he chopped them into two pieces, but it doesn't really matter. So I've got two trays like this. These are just turkey or large roasting foil trays. I got them for £1 each at a local shop, and in them I've just got some salmon sides. Has the skin on, which I'll come into later. I actually prefer to smoke it and actually slice it with the skin on. It gets a little bit neater. So there we go, got one salmon side here. So all in all, two trays, which is 4 complete sides of salmon. For the cure, I've got a half and half mixture of coarse and fine sea salt, and half and half mixture of light Demerera and dark Muscavado sugar. I'll put the exact measurements that you need down in the description, but unlike the cure for the bacon, you don't have to be exact with these ones because there are no active ingredients that could harm you if you go over the top with the measurements. And I'm just going to mix these two cure ingredients together now. And give them a good stir up. There you go, all mixed up now. The dark Muscavado gets quite a toffee-like consistency and it's difficult to get it to break up, but that's good enough. As long as it doesn't matter if there's a few lumps in it like that. And literally all you do is sprinkle a layer over the pieces of salmon. Now, it's important to get sort of a crust on each one. Try not to leave any gaps. And all this cure does is bring out all the moisture and some sort of chemical. There's a little bit of a chemical reaction that escapes me. But just create a crust on the top of each bit. It doesn't have to be perfectly even, as long as you've pretty much covered all the exposed flesh. Just like that. And I'll do the same for the other one. And that, folks, is all you need to do. I've got quite a thick crust of the mixture all over the salmon. And what that'll do now is just pull out all the moisture. But I'm going to put those now in the fridge for just 24 hours. Let's take a look. And that's quite a difference. See the amount of liquid that's come out there. I'm going to now wash off all the cure. I'm going to clean out these foil trays and then put the salmon back on, and I'll just show you the effect that the cure's had on each piece. Right, well, I've washed all the cure off now. I've put a couple of these airing trays in the bottom of the cleaned up foil trays, and I'm going to now put these back in the fridge 24 hours to a bit of an air and a dry. I've also patted them dry with kitchen paper as well. And it's interesting, if you just have a closer look at one of these pieces, what the cure has done is if you listen to this, it's really firmed it up, and just over the next 24 hours it'll get softer again and will be perfect for slicing. So back into the fridge. Another 24 hours later. So they've nicely dried out now, and they're ready for the smoker. I've got 2 levels here of the salmon, all ready to go. I showed you last time how to load up the smoke generator, and I'll just light that now. And I'm just looking for a penny-sized scorch mark on there. Then I'll blow out the flame and let it smoke through the night. Well, a few minutes into the burn, I'll just show you the effect that the smoke generator has. I've blown out the tea light a couple of minutes ago. And there you go, it doesn't do a bad job. I'm afraid it's a voiceover for a little bit. I got about 17 hours burn from that smoke generator, and just look at the lovely colour that salmon has taken on. I'm really happy. Before packing it up or eating it, just have a little check around and remove any pin bones that might be remaining. I always leave the skin on. It makes a really nice firm base when you're cutting the salmon. And when you buy it from supermarket or any other suppliers, it usually comes pre-sliced. And I prefer to actually slice it myself, because you can choose to have it thickly sliced, which I'd cut it like that if I was, for instance, going to have it with scrambled eggs, something like that. Or you can choose to slice much more thinly. So there you go. This should sort out Christmas, New Year, gifts, etc, etc. Really easy. I've got loads now. Freezes brilliantly, keeps forever, and I suggest you do it, but we'll have a go at the taste test. However, I've got a little recipe in mind that I'm going to do on an overnight camp. So I'll do a quick taste test now just to check that it's okay. Then I'll use a piece of this in an upcoming video. There we have it. And we'll give this a go. Got my thick piece here. And thin bit. That is delicious. I'm not going to make too much of this because I'm looking forward to the recipe that's coming up in the next video. That is... I've always loved smoked salmon, but there's nothing like making it yourself. Give this a go. Thanks very much for watching. That's really easy, easier than the bacon. Keep scanning the supermarkets. If they come down to that price of about £10 per side, it's well worth going for. Buy a few. Those ingredients for the curing, the different types of salt and sugar, got them online, very inexpensive. So I think a whole side of salmon will probably cost you, let's say, £11, £11.50, including all the materials you need, as opposed to, what, 35? But the most important thing is you've made it yourself. Thanks very much for watching. Look forward to seeing you again.